Whoa. So I'm glad that my ego took every day to complain about the review section, because then it was just primed and ready to complain about lesson 151, because it was complaining because of the review. Now it's complaining because of new. I think the ego just complains. I'm pretty sure. So this is such a big lesson. I've literally read it a few times, had it read to me a few times. Tina read it to me, Chad read it to me, I read it to me. Whoa, I guess it maybe feels more impactful because we were doing 2-line reviews, and we're sitting with Pathways of Light and Jesus and all that. But this one's massive, and I could see why, like in the past, after this one, I'd be like, I think I need to take a break for a little bit. Like, this is kind of a lot. This is a lot to take in. But as you sit with it, as you hear it again and read it a different way, and like read it out loud and have somebody read it to you, it starts to click in more and doesn't feel like quite as daunting and over your head. But even the lesson itself, all things are echoes of the voice for God. Even that one statement feels so above and beyond anything that we say in normal life, and you're like trying to wrap your head around it. All things are echoes of the voice for God. So basically, I think, like, after sitting with this lesson a few times, to me it seems like this is the potential now for me to see the face of Christ in everyone, for me to see God in everything. This is the potential now. Instead of judging something as bad, I see in it what it was intended to be. Instead of listening to the ego's judgments, taking them as my own, I'm going to instead open my mind to hear the voice for God. All things are echoes of the voice for God. So this lesson talks about judging on partial evidence, meaning we don't even know how to judge. All we can do is hear the ego's thought system, the ego consciousness, the ego in our mind. Take that as a misidentification as us, as that being me, then all I really have is an opinion based on the ego thought system. But it's very sly and it's very tricky, and it can trick me and you to thinking that that is us. It isn't. It is not. So it talks a lot about the way that we see the world with our eyes and our ears, and we don't doubt what we see, even though these eyes have certainly betrayed us in the past, or been incorrect, or not quite seen what we saw. But yet we don't doubt it, because we have been trained to believe our 5 senses, and the ego controls us that way. That then Jesus will get into, if you listen to Tina Jesus, that the way that society controls us is through judgment, keeping us judging, keeping us hating, keeping us in the ego. It's a lot. So it's a lot. How can you judge? Your judgment rests upon the witness that your senses offer you. Yet witness never falser was than this. So we really have to realize that we are in this reality. We're doing as we were taught, and we are taught the ego's ways. And if we want to break free from that, we have to retrain our minds in order to see the voice of God in everything, hear the voice of God in everything. So it talks a lot about judgment. It talks a lot about, recognizing your true self. And then that means you have to learn to doubt what the ego is telling you. So it's a huge lesson, and I'll just kind of keep sitting with it for the remainder of my day personally. And Let me tell you what Jesus said. Jesus said, the mind untrained is dangerous. So everyone really needs to take a look at lesson 151 and take a look at judgment based on incomplete evidence, based on the surface actions of the egoic consciousness. So you see this in everyday life when people are getting riled up and indoctrinated into violence, into conflict, into arguments, into stupid stuff on Facebook. It's not love. You can literally witness people being on the battleground, completely fully engaged with death, fully engaged with the egoic consciousness. Jesus talked a lot about how the ego will kill. It will kill anything it needs to get to what it wants, anything in its path. It will destroy. It will destroy the environment, and sometimes even it will destroy itself in suicide. The ego is ruthless. So the main message with judgment today, meaning that it's based on incomplete evidence, is that we should not judge anyone. You don't know why they do what they do. You don't know which thoughts are tormenting them. So take yourself out of judging another. You don't even really understand why you do what you do. How can you understand why anyone else does anything? So do not judge. Relinquish your unloving thoughts and lead towards peace. As you retrain your mind, you become powerful via love. So Jesus highly suggests that you stay in your own lane. Stay in your love lane. Focus on becoming better yourself. Nurture yourself. Train your mind and keep turning towards peace and compassion. Become miracle-minded and invest in yourself by staying in your own lane, staying in love. And Jesus really wants you to become unruly and uncontrollable from society's standpoint. Jesus wants you to lead the love revolution on this planet. Yeah, so leading a love revolution. So that makes me think of 2 times, I think, in this lesson where it's mentioned that your ministry has begun. Like, it's sort of like, hey, when you finally do get your mind attuned to the frequency of being able to be miracle-minded, because right now, if you're still going in the egoic consciousness and judgment, you can't really produce miracles from that state of mind. So you keep on doing your mind training, and then you will lead others in a love revolution with the changes that you have evoked within yourself. And yeah, in lesson 151, it does say a couple of times about now our ministry begun at last to carry round the world the joyous news that truth has no illusions and the peace of God through us belongs to everyone. So through your transfiguration is the world redeemed and joyously released from guilt. So you are setting a very good example. Your ministry begins as all your thoughts are purified. So as you can't help then to become a teacher in your own way after you have begun to hear the echoes of the voice for God, as you get to the point where you see the face of Christ in everything, as you get to the point where you stop judging, where you stay in your own lane, where you retrain your mind, where you focus on becoming better yourself, where you nurture yourself and love yourself and invest in yourself and become miracle-minded yourself. You will be a sight to behold, and people will want to know how you doing this, how you did this, how did you do this? Pathwaysoflight.org. Welcome to the reading, A Course in Miracles Workbook, Lesson 151, Insights. All things are echoes of the voice for God. These are 2 main points that I get from this lesson. The first is that the information I obtain through the body's senses is not only woefully inadequate as a basis for judgment, but it is totally false. The second point is that I have an alternative that will always show me the truth, and that is the Holy Spirit. I have gone through my life thinking what I see and hear and touch is the basis for understanding. Yet, like the lesson says, there have been innumerable occasions in which I made a judgment only to find out later I didn't see what I thought I saw or hear what I thought I heard. Or I may have heard and seen accurately, but there was more I didn't see or hear that changed the meaning of the event. Surely by now it would seem I would have learned that my body's senses cannot give me all I need for accurate and true judgment. Yet it seems I am still more inclined to believe the information I gain through the body than to listen for and trust the Holy Spirit's voice. I am grateful for this course because I am more and more willing to question everything I think I know and turn it to the Holy Spirit for His vision. Whenever I do, I always find peace. I always see innocence in my brother and myself. I recognize that all things are echoes for the voice for God when I am willing to step back from my judgments, to not believe the information coming to me through the body's senses, and listen instead to the Holy Spirit's voice. When I am able to successfully do this, it is like the images of the world are thin veils through which I am able to see the loving light that unifies everything. The veil is so thin and faint that it does not interfere with seeing the light, the innocence, the love that is truly there. It is my goal to be able to walk the world lightly and carry this X-ray vision of the Holy Spirit in all my doing. I can imagine putting on a set of Christ vision goggles. With these goggles, I am able to see through the chaotic confusion of images and remain at peace because I see the unity of love and innocence in all. The images of form may still be there, but the old meanings I gave them have faded away, and with Christ vision goggles, I am able to see the face of Christ everywhere. Today, in any moment in which I do not feel complete peace, I will practice seeing with Christ vision goggles. This is a way of walking in peace. As I read the course each day, I am always led in one way or another to follow the perceptions of my inner teacher, the Holy Spirit. Today, Jesus reminds me that it is only the Holy Spirit that can be the true judge of anything. What I see through the body's eyes always bears false witness. The body's eyes were made to see separation from God and from my brother. None of this is true. Through the Holy Spirit, I am led to look past these false witnesses and see nothing has changed from God's extension of the love and light that everyone is. It is only by my consistently opening to the Holy Spirit that I am able to awaken from this false dream of separation and return to the awareness of the unity of God. In truth, there is only one life, and that is the life we all live in God as one. Today, my job is to practice giving all judgment to the Holy Spirit where it belongs. Holy Spirit, help me see that I cannot judge. What I see through the body's eyes only brings false witness. Help me not to believe in these false witnesses, but rather receive your vision of what is eternally true. Be my guide all through the day. Purify my thoughts as I hand them over to you one by one. Help me distinguish between what is real and what is false. Help me see as you see, that I may extend what you extend. Help me see the innocence and unity that is behind every form of separation. Help me remember the truth. My part is to give all my judgments to you, remembering that I cannot judge. Only you judge truly. pathwaysoflight.org. So this could keep us very, 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 very busy, very, very, very busy all day. If every time we have a judging thought, we're like, whoa, 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 I can't judge. Okay, there is a process of true right judgment for what it truly is. I'm not capable of doing that. Okay, I'm not going to judge. So I'm going to give this thought and just give it to the Holy Spirit and then see what happens in your mind. The only thing we can really do with these lessons is be open, have willingness, of course, but just kind of be open to see if and how our minds can be corrected. And that does take a little bit of discipline to stop yourself in that moment of judgment, of accepting the ego's perceptions as your opinion. You take that opinion of judgment and see what the Holy Spirit would like to do with it and how he can maybe show you a different way. So you can try it for sure. You can try it out. You can definitely try staying in your own lane. You can definitely focus on becoming better yourself. Mind your own damn business. And lay the gift of snow white lilies on the world. So as you replace your witnesses to sin and death, as you replace the ego stuff, as your transfiguration in the world redeemed, you're joyfully released from guilt. And do we lift our resurrected minds in gladness and in gratitude to him who has restored our sanity to us? So can we have a different way of looking at things? It definitely takes practice because everything is lined up to keep us powerless in judgment of the ego. It keeps us busy, but now we found a new way to stay busy by giving all our judgments over to the Holy Spirit. Let him evaluate each one that comes to mind. Remove the elements of dreams and give them back again as clean ideas that do not contradict the will of God. So definitely my favorite part of lesson 151, this right here. Give him your thoughts, and he will give them back as miracles, which joyously proclaim the wholeness and the happiness God wills his Son as proof of his eternal love. And as each thought is thus transformed, it takes on healing power from the mind, which saw the truth in it and failed to be deceived by what was falsely added. All the threads of fantasy are gone, and what remains is unified into a perfect thought that offers its perfection everywhere. So give him your thoughts, and he'll give them back to you as miracles. Try it out and see, really see.